you ducks. Nut, 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 nut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Everybody was very confused. And they were so sad over there. Look, look us. The ducks. The ducks. Once upon a time, a long time ago, there was ducks. They lived on the green level. There was a dragon in water. One time ago, they little ducks. There was a dragon, and you're not Frank 6. I'm not sure. And the dragon was ink, and he was gone. He was roar, I'm gone. I can't, said the ducks. And the dragon wants ink was denying symbols. Symbol is so simple.
There we go.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Alone Together Pittsburgh. I'm your host, Patrick Jordan. We are streaming at you live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Here we are, episode 156. Is this 156?
Sounds good to me. 156,
wrapping up week 51 of this little streaming show that shouldn't have, but we are still here. If it's your first time watching, this is our boy Snacks. Right up here in the corner, it's the show mascot. We started this show right before the shelter-in-place order came down from the governor, which was last March, which is March now, and it's kind of a humbling and crazy feeling right now every time I do an intro for the show right now, this month in particular, because this feels like us right here for the last year. And maybe you can relate. But we started this show to keep a sense of community, to keep us together, to let people know that they were alone, but we were all in this together, and to keep people, just keep talking to people, hear some stories and what was going on. So we're here now. A couple of things. Ticking below me is our Venmo. That is where you can give a couple of bucks to the show if you can, is @TogetherPGH. Anything you could kick in would be greatly appreciated, even if it's $1, $3. If you give $500 or more, you get to be a guest on the show, and I know you're dying to be a guest on this show. So chime right in for that. We've got some comment section here. We're going to try to answer as many comments and questions as come in. We've got a fantastic show lined up for you tonight. We've got a musical guest and a new podcast impresario. Zoob is here. It's Friday, so you know Natalie Bencivenga is going to be doing 5 Minutes With. And you've got Bracey, who's going to be rocking out some big news tonight. It's not breaking, but it's still big news that I'm sure we're going to be talking about with Day later on in the show. So it's exciting. We've got a musical guest back here tonight. We're excited about that, and it's going to be a good show. But before we dive into things like that, we would not be doing this show if it wasn't a pandemic. So every night since pretty much March, we go over the COVID numbers in Allegheny County for that day. So we are up 10 from yesterday. It is 288. So it seems like we're plateauing in the 275 to 300 range, which is better than when it was 1,1600 from the Thanksgiving spike, but we're not where we want to be. Okay, so we want to get those numbers down. Best way to do that, wear a mask, okay? Keep on wearing your mask. Wear two if you can. Don't be a jag. Put on a mask. Bruce Springsteen would agree with me. So anyway, that was the boss. It was a different time. He agrees. So put on your mask. Keep washing your hands. Keep the social distancing. We are so close here. You can almost like see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm not saying that lightly because when this thing started, I was like the pessimist that I was like, everyone was like, hey, 14 days, it's going to be great. And I'm like, I think it's going to be like 10 weeks. And everyone was like, you're an asshole. And I'm like, wait a minute, 10 weeks. And I was an asshole because it should have been 52 weeks. And we're not even close to the finish line yet. We're closer than we were last March. But enough about COVID. Let's talk about you, the viewing audience. You get to vote on something we have here called the Engine House 25 Winery Lil Jag-Off poll. Right? It is brought to you by Engine House 25 Winery. And if you do not know about Engine House 25 Winery, go to eh25.com. Find out everything you need to find out. The wine is fantastic. I'm actually drinking some of their Zen right now. I would highly recommend everything. I'm a big fan of the reds, but they also have a Sauvignon Blanc. They have a Chardonnay, and they have a Rosé. But every bottle of wine, you're not going to get a bad one. It is fantastic. And if you tell them that you found out about them from Alone Together Pittsburgh, you receive $5 off per bottle. They're also doing some free delivery during the pandemic in the greater Pittsburgh area. And they also have curbside. So check that out. Everything you need to find, eh25.com. It's also home to the Roberto Clemente Museum, which might have a little tie-in to tonight's Lil Jag-Off poll. Now, when we say Lil Jag-Off, we are not looking for a negative. We use it as a term of endearment. Like, look at that little Jag-Off over there. We love it. All right? We used to have the overnight poll. It is just the in-show poll right now, so you watching live get to vote. Dave, it's a doozy tonight. Tell them what it is. Spring is springing.
Hey, Patrick! You know the good old Golden Boys, the Pittsburgh, the Buccaneers, the Buccos, the Pirates. Patrick, you like those guys? You like to watch the baseball games?
I love the idea of a Pittsburgh baseball team.
You go to those, but you know, sometimes those games are not so good. I've been a couple times, they've been real snooze fest. You know what I'm talking about?
I understand.
Well, according to the government now, everybody can open up to about, 20% capacity. But
outdoors.
Has the Pirates ever had 20% capacity over the past few years, as long as I've been here in Pittsburgh? Patrick, what do you think of that?
They've gotten creative. There were 2 or 3 years that was legit. They had made the playoffs twice. But yes, I understand what you're saying. The Pirates have gotten creative in how they would get to the 20% threshold that they wouldn't have to forfeit the franchise.
So Pittsburgh, what's going to get you out now? This is up to you. Is it the Roberto Clemente bobbleheads, the Zambelli blast? The raffle to bat? You get to bat a raffle? Or vaccine cannons? What's going to put the butts in the seats? 20% capacity in the Pirates. There we go. Vote.
You get to vote at home right now. Is it what's going to put the Pirates over the 20% capacity? Because we're just assuming that the team's not going to do very well this year. Is it Roberto Clemente bobblehead giveaways? Is it the Zambelli Sky Blast fireworks show? Is it a raffle to actually come to bat in the game, to bat in a Major League Baseball game? Would that get you there? It would get me there. I'm not going to lie. And then the vaccine cannons. Dave, how would you visualize a vaccine cannon?
It would be kind of like, I don't know, you ever seen The Wall by Pink Floyd? You know, like bombs raining from the sky, but instead of bombs, they're syringes. Actually, I think that's exactly what happens in The Wall by Pink Floyd. Anyway, syringe cannons, fire just screaming in the sky. People, 2 or 3 syringes sticking out of their heads. Everybody getting vaccinated. A rain of pain, the kind of pain that washes away disease and gets the party going. You know what I mean? Something like that. We don't need no education. Something like that. You know, real dark. Everybody in gas masks and no pants. You know, exciting stuff.
I love it. I love it, and I am. I'm in. All right.
You know what I
sign me
think
up.
would get seats and butts and seats there at the Pirates? I think if Pepper did his storytellings, you know, kind of like Bruce Springsteen does his big storytellings. You know, Pepper, I want to hear more about the ducks and the dragon and the relationship there.
Yeah, you know what, man? The girl's magic, man. I've never heard that. She hasn't heard a story about ducks and dragons, but she looked at that green pond.
Go figure the apple doesn't fall from the tree. She's got the creative spark. She's already bringing, I want more. You know what I mean? She's giving us a taste of her brilliance in the animal beginnings of the show.
That's right. An animal break from Pepper Jordan. So I'm super proud of her. So that said, I think we can move on to the show, unless there's something. Pete, you got anything to add?
Pete's in Cleveland.
Oh, Pete's in Cleveland. So no. All right. So Pete's in Cleveland tonight. Dave, I think. Do you want to give me the go ahead? Is there anything I'm leaving out here?
There's nothing. I'm ready. I'm excited. It's Friday. Let's party. Let's party. This is going to be a fun show.
Well, I'll tell you what. All right, so we have one of the more talented musicians from the area. I'm sorry, I'm drinking too much of this Engine House 25 right now. I'm slipping a little bit here.
That tongue.
The tongue. It's just it's tripping. I started too early, so it happens. You know, 156 episodes. They're not all going to be winners. But you know what was a winner? The rest of this week has been a winner. We've set the bar high with the folks from your Jag Off on Wednesday. Aaron Hart was killing it on Wednesday. Last night. We had Allegheny Eats, Rebecca, and Kate Romaine did a cooking demo, okay? A live cooking demo with multiple cameras. She had an iPhone gum band over her deep fat fryer, and one of the fish actually got away.
It was like real show business, Patrick. And
it was magic.
You were in top form. It was a lot of work. You know, we were breaking new ground. It's exciting. But tonight, you know, we're going to call it in. Thank God we've got just amazing people to float us down the river. You know what I mean? What a float it's going to be. Crack your beers. Let's do this.
I'm excited. Let's do this. And you know what better way to get us started on a Friday night? TGIF. We've got a musician and impresario. Zoob is going to be here. He's going to open up with a song, and if we beg him nicely, maybe he'll close with one too. So here he is. You don't need to hear me anymore. Let's go right to some music. Here is Zoob.
I had 3 cigarettes last night, sitting in the smoker's lounge, waiting on my connecting flight. You may be far, but you're never far from my mind. Do you think about me ever? John says it gets a little easier. I'm not holding out hope for the rest of the year, though. Doing dishes to the static on the radio. Who's gonna want me when I'm this alone? And I think songs about love are songs about death. I never lost a lover I didn't try and bargain with. And it's strange how the space has the shape of your face. And I'm still putting flowers in your favorite vase. I'm still putting flowers in your favorite vase. have these dreams where you're running to meet me. I have these dreams where you can't meet my eye. I can live with the fever, I can power through fall, but I can't get the best of tonight. And I believe songs about love are songs about hope. Songs about innocence. Songs about smoke. And I might take till the new year to find a measure of grace. But I'm still putting flowers in your favorite vase. I'm still putting flowers in your favorite vase.
Yeah.
Woo! Hi.
How's it going, buddy?
How you doing?
I'm all right. How long has it been since you played out?
Oh man, I mean, I played an ill-advised wedding like 6 months ago. It's the last time I performed live.
Well, you haven't missed a step, buddy.
Thank you very much.
So thanks for being here tonight, man, on a Friday night.
Thanks for having me. This is the most fun literally the most fun I can have on a Friday night.
Well, I'm so sorry for you. And but I still thank you for being here tonight, and I apologize for what the hand that life has dealt you.
Oh,
that this is the most fun you can. That this is the most fun you can have on a Friday. So what's been going on, man? What have you been doing? I mean, obviously, yeah, you've only played out once since, and that was 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So this is you were pretty prolific in playing.
Yeah, well, I mean, as prolific as I was allowed to be, yeah, for
Right.
sure. And I guess I still am. It's just
Right, yeah, but now you're just on the inside.
Yeah, I turned myself off. I've been staring at a wall for a year, and every once in a while I flip the button back on, and I come on a show like this.
I like that. Well, good. Well, thanks for coming out tonight. No,
Sure.
I'm kidding. So what else have you been doing? Has there been anything else what's filling your days?
Yeah, I mean, so I went back to school, and
Brilliant.
it's virtual now, but I'll be going out to the campus when things are safe again. But yeah, I'm getting my master's in studio guitar,
Genius.
which is sort of a jazz pop, rock masters.
Now, were you planning on doing that before pre-pandemic, or was this like the pandemic hit and you were like, screw it, I'm just locking in, I'm gonna get this thing done?
No, I was planning on it.
Okay.
I actually put it off further because of the pandemic.
Okay.
It was kind of like I can't go out. It's in LA. It's at USC. Can't go out there right now, especially right now, because I think that it's like 1 in 3 people have or have had COVID in LA. So yeah, I pushed it, and then I was like, I just got to start this, even if it's virtual. I'm going to start it.
Well, it's genius, and the fact that everything else is kind of stopped, so you're not really conflicted. You can focus on that and still kind of be at home in your fluorescently lit room there.
Yeah,
I'm just messing with you because we talked about the fluorescent lighting earlier in the pre-show. We were talking through lighting techniques, and stuff like that. So it's just been school. You haven't been doing anything else, like making bread or anything like that?
No, I work. I mean, I work full time. I'm working at a marketing agency, which actually,
Okay.
you know Brad Stevenson.
I do know Brad Stevenson.
I work with Brad and
Brad and I.
Laura
Brad's
Greenawalt.
great. Brad's been on the show once. I think we should have him on again. But Brad and I did a couple of food tours back in the day. We did a burger tour. We went to 10 different burgers in one day. And then we had 12 or 13 pizza places in one day.
That just
Yeah.
sounds like depression. Are you okay?
I was fine. It was amazing for me. Brad cried during the burger tour. He literally had tears. If you watch the video, like he's like really like I thought he was joking, and he was like legitimately sad. He said he could feel the sadness of the cows. So anyway, you could talk to good old Brad Stevenson about that next time you see him.
I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, if you just bring up the sad cows. But that's it. So you're working full time and you're going to school here.
Yes.
So you're busy.
And a podcast. I started.
And the podcast.
Yeah.
I was going to parlay into that. So let's talk. We talked a little bit about the podcast a couple weeks ago when we had the Rec Kids on. But tell us a little bit about this podcast and what caused you to start it.
Yeah. So it's with the host of the Pittsburgh Moth, Alan Olafson. If you've ever been to the Pittsburgh Moth, he's
awesome.
The dapper Jewish fella who gets up and sort of mocks everyone's heartfelt stories. Anyway, he had the idea of a podcast that was just really about talking through this last year with artists and performers and writers and people who have been materially affected, as all your guests have. I mean, it's sort of a similar concept, but we're really focused on, sort of the three, like, what was it like? What is it like? Mm-hmm. What are you looking forward to, right? And then there's all that branches off. Like, what do you miss? What do you miss that like doesn't seem like it's going to come back? What do you look forward to that does seem like it's going to come back? All of that sort of makes its way into these conversations, and we've had some really interesting ones. So.
Now, how many episodes have you done so far?
We're about to put out our 6th one, so it's
great.
It's a baby.
And do you have one set of guests per show, or is it just like one group and then they talk, or do you have like multiple people doing different segments?
So far, it's every episode's a guest. Yeah,
that's awesome because I think diving deep is what I think that's what people want. You know what I mean? Like the longer form interview format and stuff where you get to talk. I mean, what's funny because the Rec Kids were actually on our show like our first or second week. I know they were like episode 3 for you. And what ended up happening was we had like in those days we were doing like 4 and 5 guests on every night, which was just crazy and unsustainable. But what ended up happening was Sarah was friends with a couple of other guests who were friends with a couple other guests and hadn't seen each other in a couple of months. And everyone had been in like the serious lockdown phase of this. And we just left the camera rolling and it turned into a 3.5 hour just conversation with them. I dipped out. Like I left and they all just had a conversation with each other. And it was one of the most fascinating, like healing life, like time capsules that came with it, which is what I think is cool about what you guys are doing. Plus your artwork is top notch.
Well, thank you. That is, as we talked about a couple weeks ago, that is Michael Artman. It is his actual given name, Michael Artman.
I still am having a hard time believing it.
Yeah.
His name is Michael Artman.
Yeah.
Spelled like it sounds. Well, that's.
I haven't had the conversation whether, like, if you wanted to be an accountant, like, was it that the kind of thing where it didn't matter what you wanted to be, like your last name was Artman, you got to make art, That's like if you're like actor man. Yeah. Well, you should be an actor. You know what I mean? Like car wash person. You better open a car wash, like Jimmy Car Wash. That's his name. I don't know what to do about it. What are you gonna do?
I don't know why I came up with car wash, but shit happens. Hey, before I forget, where would you fall in our in-show poll for tonight for about the Pittsburgh Pirates, how they're going to get to 20% capacity?
Stick me, baby. I want the vaccine. Any way I can get it.
I got to be real. That was Zoob's choice. That of those 4, he came in with the vaccine cannon, and that's what pushed us over the top with what the poll is for tonight.
Somebody obviously already got their vaccine because they're in for the Roberto Clemente bobblehead, or they just love Roberto Clemente bobbleheads.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, one of our sponsors happens to be, embedded in the basement of the Roberto Clemente Museum. So maybe that's what's happening right now. But people, that's a legitimate thing. I mean, it's been about 20 years. They're giving away a Roberto Clemente bobblehead, and they end up selling out to get the bobbleheads. That's how they add it up. But anyway.
That's real. I didn't even realize it was real.
They give away, like they do bobblehead nights where like big things and the sky blasts, the fireworks nights, and people would sell out. They would sell out. It's a beautiful stadium. You get to see the city. The food's great. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the baseball team, unfortunately, has been an underachiever or an overachiever in a terrible way. But that's it. I mean, last year the World Series opened with 2 starting pitchers that both had been drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates. So it's that kind of thing. What am I looking at here?
That's my website that Dave put up on
Fantastic.
All your media is flawless, top notch. All of it. The graphics and the podcast, the website, it looks slick. It's making us look bad.
Guess who did the imagery and all this for my website and stuff.
Jimmy Artman.
Johnny Artwork.
This is Johnny Artwork. Michael Artman.
Michael Artman.
Yep.
Well, that is fantastic. So find out. I mean, so you got a lot of stuff going on, man. You always do. So feeling this out, what do you have coming up? It's just the podcast and school, right? You don't. I mean, I don't know about. I don't think anyone's booking live gigs.
I don't know that I would take one even if they were. I mean, like this is great. Love this stuff.
Yeah, we don't mess around. This is like we're Dave and I especially are pretty much on super lockdown. We don't leave.
Which, by the way, you said earlier that it was $500 to be a guest. Why did you charge me $1,000?
Well, buddy, listen. You have this hat that you wear and this fluorescent lighting, and only one person can have facial hair, and that's Dave. Dave's the only one on this thing, so it's like a service fee. But like,
I had a series of barriers to entry. I got it.
I understand, but it's okay. But we're getting you're getting your message out there, and your music is playing. Speaking of which, do you have another song you might wanna play for us tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. I could play another song.
I would love to hear one more.
Okay.
One more song from Zoob.
Set me back a month, dear, as cleanly as you could, with California burning, my heart is in the woods. If you think that all the waiting has done me any good, well, California's burning, my heart is in the woods. What else can I say? I think about you every day. What else can I do? I'm still in love with you. I'll leave you to the city and your struggles with the law. California's fine, dear. It might be time to call. What else can I say? I think about you every day. What else can I do? I'm still in love with you. What else can I do? I'm still in love with you.
Zoob, I'm telling you, man.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
You've got to come back.
I would love that.
I'm sorry, we got to go long. We got to dive deeper with you. Have we got the proper plugs out there right now? NathanZoob.com. Add it to Zoob is your Insta handle and Twitter. The best way to get at your podcast is...
It depends on your if you Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Stitcher, all of the major podcast things. If you want to help me out right now, rate, review the podcast, subscribe to it. That would be awesome for us. Give us a positive review. Not, a bad review is bad. That's not good.
Okay, well, we definitely want to have you back here when we have a little bit more time.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. If you want to stick around, stick around. If you want to jump back in at any point, wave your hands. Wave your hands. I'll have Dave bring you in. But thank you very much for being here. Everybody, check this out. Listen to this podcast. It is really good stuff.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. Thanks for listening, everybody. I'm going to go get another drink, but I will be watching the rest of the show.
Please do that. All right, take it easy, buddy. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. The guys, Dave was like blowing up my ear, like, this guy's great. I'm like, oh, his songs are fantastic. I'm like, they are. This is awesome. So yeah, we definitely want to have Zoob back again. But you guys check him out. They're on every platform you can imagine right now. Listen to that podcast. It's great. He's got some great people he's talking to. I think we should keep it moving here, keep this thing rolling, because we still got a lot of heat coming from this fire of a show right now. And if it's Friday, we get 5 minutes with Natalie Bencivenga. So let's roll right into it right now. I can't wait to see who she's talking to this week. Here it is.
Hey everyone, welcome to 5 Minutes With. I'm your host, Natalie Bencivenga. And this week we are taking a little trip to Texas. That's right. I am so excited for everyone to meet my next guest, Belinda Carr. She is an architectural designer, and she is also the host of her own YouTube show, focusing on emerging trends and products disrupting the architecture and construction world. It is so nice to have you with me today.
Great to be here. Thank you so much for organizing this and setting it up.
Oh, absolutely. So I can't take the credit on discovering your amazing show. My husband was the one that fell in love with what you were doing. And so when I started watching your work myself, I was totally intrigued by your story and your journey. So if you could tell everybody just a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I was born and brought up in Dubai, lived there for 23 years along. My parents still live there. My sister actually was the first person to come to the States. She moved here to do her MBA at the University of Virginia. And I followed in her footsteps a year or two later to my Master's of Architecture. So I did my bachelor's back in the UAE and then moved here. And so that was 9 years ago. And that's where I met my husband in school. And I've stayed here since then. So soon after graduating in 2014, after graduating in 2014, I got a job at a typical architecture firm. And I felt stuck. I felt I wasn't happy doing going down the expected route, getting all your hours in, your IDP is called. It's like training hours in to get your license. And I felt like a CAD monkey. I felt like I could do more after 8 years of education. And I didn't want to be stuck behind a computer and just drafting all day long. I wanted to do more. So very soon after graduation, so in 2016, I decided to start my own business and venture outside the architecture world, see what else was out there, and maybe carve my own path if I couldn't find a precedent that I could follow. And that's when I started the YouTube channel to gain my confidence, because I'm an introvert by nature, as are most architects and designers. So this YouTube channel has helped me learn something new every single day, package it up into something understandable, and present it out there for people and myself to refer to in the future. Because I can't store all that information in my head. So it's a way for me to make it understandable. And it's a way for me to grow as a person, grow my knowledge, and just meet new, interesting people all around the world. And I wouldn't have been able to meet all the fascinating people in New Zealand and Europe and all that if it wasn't for this YouTube venture. Yeah.
And how many people now are following you on your YouTube adventure?
57,000 subscribers.
That's incredible. So when you started this journey, did you anticipate that kind of a response to your work?
Absolutely not. I've been adamant not to call myself a YouTuber because of all the negative connotations that go along with that phrase. I just wanted it to be a way to maybe supplement my income, but a way to market myself. And I see this as, like, I call it my digital portfolio. Everyone has this like 2-page printout of your CV or your resume, but I have something else that maybe sets me apart from other architects or designers. And yeah, so I did not expect this at all.
So what really intrigued me in particular, you've done some really interesting shows, and I wouldn't consider myself somebody that's really that overly interested in architecture. So what captured my attention and what I think you've done so well is you've really grounded the work in that of equity and justice. And one of your conversations was around the glamorization of poverty. And I thought that was really fascinating. And I would love if you could explain what that means and how you were relating your work and the work that you see out in the communities around the country to glamorizing being in poverty.
Sure. So the reason I was making that video, because I think I was kind of following the shipping container route that I was already on. And like, as an architect or an architecture student, many of our thesis projects in architecture schools are about solving homelessness or disaster shelters. And it now coming into the real world and making all these videos, talking to people, it's made me realize that theory is so different from practice. We can design all these hypothetical buildings, master plans to solve homelessness, and it's just completely disconnected from reality. We never talk to people in this situation to ask them what they want. And that's what I was talking about in the glamorization of poverty, because the point I bring up in the video is all these tiny homes that we have HGTV shows rising tiny homes, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's, like I say in the video, it's opened up a whole new market, created tons of jobs, and generated new interest and new enthusiasm in the design field and construction field. It's encouraged people to build their own homes. It's empowered them. But at the same time, it is glamorizing poverty in a way that we still look down on people living in trailer parks and call trailer trash. But we put people who live in tiny homes on a pedestal. We say that they have done something different. They have set themselves apart. We have to look up to them. But what's the difference? Why do we have to look down on one person and praise another? So I think that was the point I was trying to convey in the video.
Have you ever received any backlash or negative responses to any of your videos on YouTube? Putting yourself out there.
Yeah? Oh yeah, absolutely. But how do I say this? You'd never meet those kind of people in real life.
Right.
They're bots who aren't actual real people, or they're people who hide behind the computers and get some sort of gratification by hurling abuse at you. You, at the end of the day, I've realized that the positive feedback is much greater than the negative. It's just that the negative is a lot louder.
Yeah.
So I have to, this last year has helped me grow a lot. Has helped me not take things personally and just brush things aside. And I'm not trying to, as long as I know that I'm not personally attacking someone, doing this, what I'm doing is for me to learn. It's for me to convey an idea. It's for me to grow as a person and hopefully spread the idea of constructive criticism and critical thinking. That's what I'm trying to do in my channel. I'm trying to make educational videos. As long as I go down that path and not hurt people, then I don't have to feel guilty about what I'm doing, and I don't have to think twice about the negative feedback I get. If it's constructive negative feedback, absolutely, I take that into consideration. But
what do you think about when you're creating these videos? Why was it important for you to be disrupting this space online?
I felt like I had more to offer.
Mhm.
It kind of snowballed. I got into this momentum just kept building up. And when I made one video, I got like a dopamine release, and I had this like a confirmation that I can offer more to the world. I can grow more as a person. And then I just made another video, and I hope to keep growing. Like, the stuff I make tomorrow is going to be hopefully better than the stuff I make today.
So as we wrap up this 5 minutes, it was funny when I was learning more about you, I stumbled upon the fact that you have a Pittsburgh connection, which, of course, the running joke in the world is anywhere you go, you can meet somebody with a Pittsburgh connection. We go all the way to Texas, and here we are, and we're connecting over Pittsburgh. Can you talk a little bit about, you did a video on the Cary furnace, you've been to Pittsburgh. What are your impressions of this city?
Sure. So after I graduated from Cincinnati, I worked at a company in San Francisco that had a sister office or main head office in Pittsburgh. And the first time I visited Pittsburgh, and I visited the Falling Water House, which is an absolute dream come true for any designer or architect who like worships that house in architecture school. And we learned all about it, the details of it and everything. And then 2 years ago, my husband and I did a road trip from Philadelphia to Harrisburg and Gettysburg, and then all the way to Pittsburgh. And yes, I visited the Cary blast furnaces, and it was very exciting, and it was inspirational. How the city has transformed from what I'm trying to say is that they had one predominant industry, the steel manufacturing. Everything, 90% of people, I think, there were in Pittsburgh because of steel. Everything that happened because of the pollution, the soot, and then there was a big crash when jobs moved elsewhere. But revitalized downtown, they have kept the old school charm, and they have kind of transformed itself into like a more diverse industry now. And yeah, so I really appreciate my time in Pittsburgh. And
we really appreciate all the good things that you're saying about our town too. So thank you so much, Belinda. This was so much fun. I hope you will come back and update us on all of the amazing things that you are working towards disrupting in your industry. I think your videos are so interesting. They're educational and they're really inspiring, and get people to think a little bit outside the box when it comes to how we can build more sustainably as we move towards a future that's better for all of us. So thank you for spending a little bit more than 5 minutes with me.
Thank you so much.
All right.
A little different this week.
Different this week, but very cool. Very cool. I mean, I saw that you were going to be interviewing her, and I went and looked at her Instagram page and the visuals. I mean, everyone needs to go check out her stuff. The YouTube videos are obviously amazing. Her Instagram, the visuals, when you see her just even talking about shipping containers and anything like that, I mean, you can kind of just check out what she's got going on there. It's pretty great stuff.
Yeah, and what I really responded to was just how she's been trying to ground her work in that of looking at the broader social implications of what architecture and building and construction are actually doing in terms of how we're looking at sustainability. And it was just interesting because I've not really heard many people talking about that when it comes to how we're looking at the future of building. And I just thought she was so interesting. And when her and I were chatting, we did like a little pre-interview, and she had told me a lot about her family growing up in Dubai and in India, and coming here to the United States, and her family being so proud of her for having like a bigger home because they had a very small living space, and then learning about how people were choosing to live in these tiny homes, and then the glamorization of how we look at people one way versus how we look at some other people another way. I thought her video was really fascinating, and plus my husband had like he's into construction. So he was one that had gotten me into it. And of course, when I interviewed her, he happened to be home that day. So he got to meet her. So they ended up chatting for a while. He was like, this is so cool.
I believe that. Yeah, I can see that.
He was really into it.
That's awesome. And you know, any name dropping of either the Carrie Furnace or falling water. I'm in.
Yes. And she's such an interesting person. I love that she's an introvert and, you know, just felt like I want to try to
look, like the videos, preventing freezing pipes, why the Texas power grid failed. All of this stuff coming from like a pure place right now where you're seeing it. This hasn't been washed through anything else. This is just a genuine, like, special, real idea. Yeah,
and she's very thoughtful and very, you know, factual in her approach to things. And she's also raising funds right now for Feeding Texas because she's from Texas. She's living there. Her pipes have burst. None of her insurance is going to cover any of that because it's kind of a crazy mess down there. So she's trying to do her part and raise some money for their food banks, their local food banks down there. So I just admire her.
Yeah, I've got friends down there in Texas that are basically, everything was cool and then the power came back on and everything blew up.
Yes.
Like, all in about like the matter of minutes. And they were like living in like, you know, space tents for the like tents inside their house to try to keep it warm. And then once the power kicked on, it's like, oh, awesome, the power's on. Boom. It's raining. It's raining in my living room.
Yep.
So, yeah.
It's kind of a wild, it's a wild west down there in Texas right now. And I think, you know, to our point about talking about sustainable building, I mean, infrastructure is an issue that's not just impacting Texas, it's going to impact every part of this country. And so I think it's important that we start having like actual meaningful conversations around how do we plan for the future, because we're not doing a very good job right now about that.
I understand.
On any level.
Now, we're short on time, but I got to ask, any questions? Natalie's a nationally syndicated advice columnist. Did anything new come up this week that we can?
I did have a quick one. I think we could.
Quick one's perfect. Let's do it.
So, okay, everybody's getting ready to take a road trip. This is a girls' trip. They're planning it for the fall. Go down the California coast because none of them have seen each other since the onset of COVID. And one of them that's in a relationship with a woman wants to bring the girlfriend, and no one likes the girlfriend. So, do you let your friend bring their obnoxious girlfriend? Do you try to make it a girls-only trip, but is it more complicated because this is a lesbian relationship, so it's technically still a girls' trip? Or do you cut her out? And this was probably one of the most commented articles I've had in a long time.
Tale as old as time, Natalie.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. But I think that, you know, you just got to not call it a girls' trip. Just call it like a friend's trip.
A friend's trip. Change the name. It's marketing. It's branding is what you're telling me.
Friends from school trip.
Yeah. People you're not sleeping with.
So what was your advice?
I said just basically like what you said, either be honest and just say, hey, this is for friends only. You know, we can do a couples trip maybe next time, or maybe make a concession like they can take their own car, or the girlfriend could meet them halfway. There's lots of compromises, but it's really just going to come down to how much bending the friends are willing to do. But I know if it was me, I'd be like, next time, just sit this one out, because, you know, who wants to spend their vacation when they haven't seen anybody with somebody they don't like?
And there's a pandemic.
I mean, hello, it's about quality at this point. So
I would hold off for a couple months, maybe like 5, but you know.
Yeah, people had a lot of thoughts.
There's a lot to dig into. That's awesome. Natalie, I'm sorry we can't talk longer, but I will be looking forward to this Friday. You're going to be back again, I hope, right?
We can't get rid of me. I mean, I'm a fixture at this point, whether you like it or not.
We love it. And this is probably week 49 for you coming up here right now, if that's the case. So
I started thinking about that. I was like, oh my gosh.
We're coming up on your 50th.
It really is. Yeah, like a full year we've been doing this together. And I'm so grateful and honored that you guys still let me hang around. But my goodness, I hope there's light at the end of the tunnel. Like you said.
Come on, Natalie, your back must be hurting because you've been carrying this show for the last 40 weeks. So don't sell yourself short.
Can I just give a quick shout out though to Nathan Zoob, because that musical number at the beginning, he is truly talented. That was
so
beautiful.
Good.
It was very like John Denver. It was like singer-songwriter. I thought it was beautiful. I really loved it.
He's
So,
good. Well,
good job.
Zoob's mom's also an architect, and Falling Water was a
Full circle.
pilgrimage for him yearly. So
I love
that's how
it.
we tied it together. Well, Natalie, thank you so much. We will see you again a week from tonight for another installment of 5 Minutes with
Bye, everybody.
Natalie Bencivenga. Thank you, Natalie. All right. So we are rolling along here right now. It is time for our next Friday night segment. Before we do that, I want to give a quick shout out to Farm to Table Pittsburgh, another sponsor of the show. If you go to farmtotablepa.com, you can find out everything you need from living sustainably and going from farm to table, keeping it real, keeping it local. Farm to Table PA. Every Wednesday night we have a segment from farm to table. Either it's going to be Aaron Hart or different farmers or different people involved in that scene are going to come on and like crack some knowledge on you, stuff that has blown my mind with some of the guests we've had on. So every Wednesday night, be sure to tune in for that. In the meantime, go to farmtotablepa.com. You can find out everything from where farmers markets are to CSAs, who's delivering, and where you can get what and more. So check that out right now. But rolling along right now, I'm very excited because our next guest might have some news to talk about. We're very excited for another Friday segment, Local Brews, with the one and only Dave Bracey. Oh, Dave Bracey with a new facial hair configuration.
What's good, y'all, man?
Dave Bracey, I just got to ask you, do we need to change our graphic for you now?
Yeah, it looks like that's a little outdated these days. Yeah, Fresh Fest, while it was historic and brought a lot of folks together, we felt that it was time to move on and incorporate more art, more music, and more food into the affair. So we are enthusiastically rebranding as Barrel and Flow. Barrel and Flow Fest, coming up here in September 10th through the 12th. 3 days of festing. We're gonna have a conference on Friday. All the beer knowledge and the industry talk. We got a bottle share Friday night. Saturday we'll have the VIP from 12 to 3, featuring bottle shares and all kinds of music and the podcast. We'll have the early admission from 3 to 5, and then from 5 to 9. We will also have the general admission, and we'll also have a free fest for folks who, can't afford the ticket, who maybe want to bring their kids down and learn about the science of brewing, or some job opportunities, or maybe they just want a hot dog and some decent music and art. We just want to be able to offer that to the community at no cost, because it's all about access with the festival and whatnot. And wrapping up with a Sunday brunch for some folks before they head out of town. So super excited to be able to get back to festival building, festing, and with it being in September, we're hoping that folks are nice and vaccinated. It's outside of Southside work, so it's very airy. We plan to keep the capacity super low. We're looking at about 4,000 to 5,000 people coming in, and COVID guidelines will be strictly adhered to. I'm not a big fan of breathing in everybody's faces if they're not safe to do so. So, whatever the science tells us to do in this, we're going to do moving forward. So. That's
love
the
it,
fact,
man. So it's everything that you've come to love from Fresh Fest and so much more.
Yeah, we're super excited. We have, there's so much in the works. Over the last year, without having the distraction of work, we've been able to put some really cool things together in anticipation for coming back. So. We'll have a digital festival on top of that. So, we'll have cameras there for the conferencing. We'll have cameras for the stages on Saturday. We'll have chefs cooking and presenting. We'll have, brewing.
See, I love that, right? So you're taking what you picked up and learned from the necessity of doing Fresh Fest Digifest, right? and kind of incorporating that into the next phase of this and making you guys global, man. I love seeing people that have, you know, taken things that they learned from this shit show we've been living in for the last year and try to make, you know, what, lemonade? Is that obvious? But whatever. Like try to make caviar out of fish eggs. I don't know what to say here, but
yeah, I mean, it's dope. I mean, like, I don't know. You're right. We learned a lot through the pandemic, but also, you know, the industry learned a lot. Arts and entertainment, and also, you know, technology has caught up. We're able to do a lot more than what we were able to do before the pandemic because there's so many programs and you know, folks out there that are making it affordable to do so. It was really hard to monetize, you know, digital content with so much free out there. You got YouTube and the Twitches and the social media or whatever. So, you know, a bevy of programs popped up that allowed us to do this. And, you know, I think the audience also popped up. I think that, you know, when people come back out of this, not everybody's going to be rushing to get back into it. You know, some people are not going to feel safe reintegrating so early. You know, some people are going to realize that they enjoy being in the house. That, you know, like instead of, you know, getting gussied up and driving into town and having to figure out your driving situation, or you're going to get a hotel, or, you know, spending money to get in and doing all that. Like, you know, I found myself really enjoying, you know, shaking my ass in the living room with a DJ on, you know, maybe throwing them $10-15. And, you know, the fridge is full of great beer and it's cheap. And I don't have to drive or whatever. So I think there's going to be a lot of people that want that. And, you know, I think you're a fool to not offer that. You know, what we found with the festival is that it's affordable. The cost of bringing in cameras and broadcasting it and then selling tickets to that far out, you know, the sales far outweigh the cost for doing that. So,
well, man, I'm excited. And so April 1st is April Fool's Day is the go time. That's when tickets go on sale.
Yeah, tickets go on sale April 1st. You know, we're applications are open now. You know, applications for brewers, chefs, artists, musicians,
sponsors.
Yeah. If you're looking to throw us some money to do what we do, and to big up your product, if you're looking for ways to collaborate, if you're looking for ways to, you know, enhance your workforce, you know, with some diversity, or, you know, looking to make inroads into the Black community in a meaningful way. You know, hit us up. We have fortunately, through grants and sponsorships, we have quite a bit of money that we at our disposal to employ, you know, black artists and chefs and businesses to do what they do here at this festival. So we need the applications. We don't, you know, you need to apply, show the interest, and you know, it's been a lot. It's wild that it's actually out there. So much planning and imagination behind the scenes, and then to finally have it in the world is dope.
I was excited to see when it finally dropped. When I saw it pop up on social media, I was like, "Oh, it's official!" I was like, "I can't wait for Friday."
Yeah, man, it was a lot, man. So many the web design and graphic designs and man, breweries and recruiting and all that. I mean, it's been a long road, but you know, just excited to get back to it.
That's exciting, man.
You know, I mean, and again, you know, hope we don't get there unless folks do what they need to do to get there. So, you know, mask up, stay distant, and you know, get vaccinated so that we can all come back and enjoy this.
I'm with that, man. That's the perfect segue to tell me about what are you drinking right now? Because the can right there, at first glance, I was like, "What is that, Voltron?" And then I pulled back a little bit, and it was that Sledgehammer. So
yeah, so this is Old Thunder, Old Thunder Brewing Company, out of Blawnox. on Freeport Road.
It's my old town, man.
Yeah, I don't get out to the Blawnox often.
Not many
but
do.
I did see. I heard about them. I heard great things about them. You know, on the interwebs and whatnot. And I saw them down at Creekside, and I was like, all right, let me give them a try. And typically, you see me drinking IPAs and stouts because you know, that's my jam. But today I got an English bitter. So this is an English style ale. It's basically gonna be like, it's bready, it's malty, toasty. It's light. You know, it's not gonna be a lot of hops in this at all. It's close to a brown ale. So, you know, I mean, it's like you gotta like the crust of bread. That's what it's like, drinking the crust of bread.
Okay.
So, you know, if you like that flavor, this is what it is. And I mean, it's an old style that, like, I don't know, I feel like it's coming back. You know, there was the IPAs and you know, all the different trends and whatnot.
Cyclical.
Yeah, it seems like folks are getting back to, you know, the old styles and whatnot, and I'm enjoying that. Now, typically, I wouldn't get this. I got this because I genuinely wanted I wanted something different in flavor, and trying a new brewery. You know, like, everybody can do an IPA, everybody can do, you know, stout of some sort. You know, like, if there works there, you know, the soul or whatever. But I wanted to try this English bitter, and it holds up. I mean, it's only 4.8%, which that's rough, man. I mean, you know, for your ABV per dollar, I mean, it's like, that's a little rough. But I mean, if you want a 4-pack that just gets you through the weekend, man, I mean, this is perfect for that. So shout out to them, and shout out to them for opening up and distributing through a pandemic. That is extremely hard to do. So, you know, I'm looking forward to actually visiting the brewery when it is safe to do so.
All right. We just saw a little panoramic stuff on their website. So we got a little taste of it, so to speak, there. But that's I like the branding. I like the hammer, you know, the Thunder Master, a little Thor action happening there.
Yeah, no, I mean, shout out to the graphic designer.
Yeah.
I have over my years learned to appreciate a good graphic designer, a good simple design, minimalist. It says a lot without having to put a lot into it. So
gotcha. I like it. And Blawnox, yeah. I love it.
Yeah, shout out to Blawnox. I mean, every once in a blue moon, I have to drive through there in order to get to somewhere else. So
you say Blue Moon. There's a fundraiser going on for Moondogs right now, which is only the music venue that's there right there, where you see some amazing acts, local, but also some national touring acts on a smaller scale. So check that out if you're in there. There's more to a Blawnox than just one brewery and pianos and stuff.
Yeah,
but
no,
anyway.
I performed down in Moondogs. It's it's a historic place, and yeah, it was. I very much enjoyed myself down there years ago, back in the the early comedy days. Man, and it's dope that, like, you know, it just goes to show how those venues, you know, that have been around for a while, that keep the arts going. Like, they take a chance because they understand that, like, by taking a chance, you know, it keeps them open. It keeps it keeps the whole culture. You know, don't just support somebody whenever they've made it. At that point, they're going to be taxing you, you know. But if you're part of the growth of a culture, then you're always going to have some folks around you that are going to.
But yeah, there it is. I mean, I saw Moondogs. I saw Link Ray, and then another night I saw James Cotton, and then I saw a lot of local stuff. So you get like the mix of all of the. They would get some good acts in there, all of the above. So yeah, check that out. I don't know what the website is. I didn't expect to be talking about it, but I know they're doing something for it right now. Haven't been there in about 10 years, but, you know, I'm a big fan. But anyway, so did you get any other beers this week? Or are we just?
Well, I did want to shout out the homies, Union Brothers.
Okay.
These guys, they were when they were home brewing, they were serving beer at our nights of epic comedy, and they would come in with 4 or 5 different styles. They were all like knocking it out of the park, just really ambitious and go getting. Like anytime there was an event that they could pour at, they were there front and center. I don't know how they were able to do so while carrying a day job and brewing out of their garage, but they did it. And they've been open. They had to open up during the pandemic. I do believe it was around spring of last year, like right when everything was hitting the fan. And not only have they managed to open up during the pandemic, but they've also managed to excel. A lot of the times, whenever you go from a home brew system to a commercial system, there's a little bit of growing pains that are there, and they really didn't have a lot of that going into it. They've been knocking it out of the park for quite some time, and they managed to get into the canning game and the distribution game. So it's a lot. It's a lot to do in a short period of time, but they've done it. And shout out to the guys. This is Puffs. It's a cold brew. So it's a milk stout. So you're gonna get it basically. And it looks like chocolate milk. The cereal
coffee beans
type,
there, yeah.
The coffee. So you're gonna get that. It's basically gonna be kind of like a latte. More or less, that you're going to get out of that. So coffee, roasty, milky, a little bit of sweet to it, and it comes in at 8%. So it's a nice hitter there. So I guess you would call that an imperial stout. Yeah, man, they shout out to these guys for doing it.
Question:
in some of the toughest times.
Question for you: what was that cereal that looked kind of like coffee beans? Was that Sugar Smacks? What was it that looked? Because when you held up the bottom of that and it was the stout on the coffee beans, right? It looked like it was hitting a bowl of cereal. What was that cereal that looks like? Was it Sugar? Was it Sugar Smacks?
Oh yeah, it was a Sugar Smacks. Yeah.
They had the puffs that looked kind of like that. I'm sorry, I don't want to.
Yeah, no, the Sugar Smacks. That's exactly what it was. That and the there was the 2 of them. There was the frog, and then there's the bear. Who's got the golden crisp? Is that the golden crisp?
Golden crisp. All right, that might be it. The frog was the Sugar Smacks, right?
Yeah.
The Give Me a Smack. Oh, Honey Smacks.
They had to rename it in the late 80s. Remember, you couldn't call things. You had to pretend like it wasn't sugar cereal.
That's what it was. You couldn't call it Sugar Smacks. Wasn't it like "Give me a smack and I'll smack you back" or something? Was the tagline? Honey Smacks. Okay, all right. I did not know the honey transfer happened. I guess I
think corn
out.
pops were also originally sugar pops. Is that possible? You know what I mean? Anyway, times changed. Sorry, never mind.
Can't serve crap anymore. You gotta call it hard coat.
Anyway, props to you, Dave, for pulling up the Smacks image that fast when we're free jazzing.
I'm not proud of what I just did.
I don't know, but now that I'm thinking about, you want to talk about cancel culture, bring back Sugar Smacks. You know what I mean? That's what I want. I'm going to start a campaign right now because there's nothing else that we need to change right now. It's just got to be that.
Have you had that as an adult?
Sugar Smacks or Honey Smacks? No, I haven't had cereal in 10 years.
Wow. Yeah. No. I every once in a while I get into this I get into these like modes where I want a certain food for a long time, and then I'll just eat it for like a month straight, and then I just get like sick of it and won't eat it again for a decade. But I went through a Honey Smacks stage, and that shit holds up, man. It is pure. Like it's just sugar. Like it's just hard,
crunchy sugar.
Yeah, with like some kind of bread. I don't know what the fuck that is. Is that corn? I don't know what they mutated into, whatever that is. But it's just straight. It's just straight crack, man, and it's delicious. Like if you just want to get like super crack, like and then just like and then just pass out.
I'm gonna get gross, right? On occasion, if you eat a lot of sugar, you know, maybe like your urine ends up smelling like Sugar Smacks.
Yo, it does. It does smell like Sugar Smacks. And I thought I was crazy when I would be like, yo, I would be pissing and I'd be like, that smells like a bowl of cereal.
And Dave is holding up a box of Donutettes sugar cereal. That is just powdered.
Donut flavored cereal.
It doesn't say sugar. It just says powdered mini donuts.
They're not hiding. They're not ashamed.
Those are just mini donuts. That's not donut flavored cereal. Those are just dry donuts. Those
Just
were left
little-
out for too long.
Little crispy donuts. Yeah, I thought I was tripping too. The Sugar Smack smell when you eat too much of it. So here's the deal. I thought I was eating healthy at one point in time, about 10 years ago, and I started eating like Special K. Right. And I was like, I'll do Special K cereal. And I was throwing all kinds of fruit on it. I just got a Costco membership. I was feeling high on myself with the fruit. And I'm like, oh, this is like I'm at a resort. And I'm like, I'm eating healthy. And someone was like, cereal's not good for you, man. And I'm like, but it's special. But they're like, I'm like, no, it's Special K. And they're like, no, that's like the worst. Like, you'd be better off eating Sugar Smacks.
You'd be better off having ketamine.
Like, I was like, what? And I like literally haven't had a bowl of cereal since.
Yeah, no, it's a snack. It's not a breakfast food that
Wheaties is lying? Are you saying Wheaties is not the breakfast of champions?
Nah, man, like that shit like even, and that's what's wild is that like even
Zoob
like
does Special K.
When I was a kid, I used to eat Wheaties. Like it tasted good, but like I also thought like, oh, it's healthy.
And Michael Jordan was doing it.
Yeah, I was like, Jordan, and it tasted good. And kids would be like, oh, that shit is, it's gross. And I'm like, no, this is actually pretty decent. But again, having it as an adult and tasting it, I don't know if they changed the formula or not, but that shit's sweet as hell. Like, it is candy. Like, I mean, so like these days, if I'm eating cereal, it's usually like a late night snack. Like usually before I go to bed, after I have something salty or whatever, my savory meal. I'll get like a donut or something like that, or I'll get a bowl of cereal because that shit is, it's delicious, but don't fool yourself.
Bro, I would eat cereal for dinner, man. I would eat cereal when I was growing up, like as a kid, like certain people make fun of me and stuff. My mom was like, whatever, but I would literally eat 2 bowls of cereal at like 10 o'clock at night. It didn't matter. Like that was, I'm hungry. I loved cereal, and like finding all this shit out later in life has been a wreck. I'm a wreck over it.
Well, yeah,
because now I want some cereal now. I'm talking about it right now, and I got nothing in the house.
Yeah, no, I just
I'm gonna drop these donuts off at your house tonight, Patrick. Just so you know.
Well, we don't have the show for 5 days, so that'll be fine. I'm gonna go into a sugar
some for you and some for Day. I'll split it up. And Pete, I'll do it.
I need parts. I don't really think about the health side of what I eat. If it tastes good, I don't know if you've noticed on this show, it's not so much a health, if it tastes good, I eat that shit. I don't fool I think you have to be educated though, right? Like
We just got to know what you're doing, and like, okay, so I'm gonna eat this bowl of Honey Smacks, and you know what? I know it's bad.
Well,
but
it's part of your complete breakfast. That's the thing. It's part of your complete breakfast. You got to complete it yourself. It's just part.
Exactly, when I eat salad, like and I'm putting I'm putting a bacon and ranch on that motherfucker. Is it a salad anymore? I don't know.
Put some French fries on it too. It's healthy. Put some French fries and ranch dressing, and that's how you make it. Croutons, whatever you got. Throw some steak on it. Anything. It's all good for you. But anyway, this has been Cereal Corner with Day and Patrick. But that's it, man. All from the logo on that can of that cold brew there. That sounds delicious. Well, anyway, Day, you got anything else for us before we start to unwind here?
I just want to once again shout out to Weathered Souls. This dope ass Black is Beautiful collaboration, and you can find that down at 11th Hour. This is the barrel-aged version of their American Stout in 4 Roses barrels. Nice whiskey, 10%, and proceeds go to One Hood. So, One Hood is a dope-ass organization. I know you guys had Miracle on the episode at some point in the early days, sometime maybe back in the aughts. But
yeah, that's right.
yeah, I mean, but yeah, no, shout out to One Hood and all the good work that they're doing in the community, and shout out to that. And they only had 20 cases, so while I'm shouting it out, I don't even know if they got any more. But it is a special beer, not only for the cause, but like it's really hard to find a solid American barrel aged stout anymore. There's just so many like pastries, and you gussy it up with this and that, and it's hard to find just a very well done, meaningful barrel aged American stout, and it's done well. So get it while you can, man. If you happen to be in the area,
it's good. I need more, so I got to go find it because it's very rare. Like I said, I don't drink a lot of beer. But this particular beer, I think this is for the masses. I think that you'd be hard pressed to find someone who doesn't think this beer is fantastic.
Yeah, no, I mean it's a very, very nice. If you're a whiskey fan, it
hits home for me, so it's good. It's good. I am a whiskey fan. I like whiskey. I like everything. So anyway, enough about that. Day, thank you so much. If anything else comes up over this week, man, let us know. But if not, we'll have to wait all the way till Friday to talk to you again. But thank you for another installment of BRACEYBREWS. But I got to tell you, we got to change this logo. Hey Pete, if you're back from Cleveland, we got to update this thing, man.
Yeah, work on it.
We got to get that. We got to update it. We got to roll with the times here. We're not just some Mickey Mouse streaming show, are we? Crickets. Anyway, Day, thank you so much. Natalie Bencivenga, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. We're doing another segment of 5 Minutes with Zoob. Thank you so much. I hope Zoob said he's big on the Special K right now. So we're winding things down here, wrapping up week 51, episode 156 in the books. Come see us next week. It's going to be fire again. It's going to be great. Wednesday night, we got Farm to Table and other guests. Thursday, Kate Romaine. If you didn't watch last Thursday, just go back and watch last night's show. Because there was some hijinks in a live fish fry that we did on the show. It was good stuff. I should have just stopped talking while Day was filling that glass so we could hear it. Very nice. Look, and this is Dave Bracey's face, everybody. We haven't seen this in some time. That is his whole face. We haven't seen it this clean and tight and shaven in quite some time. But
I ain't neither, man. Happy spring.
Happy spring. Meanwhile, Mansueto's face hasn't. It's quite the opposite. Dave, look, that face is just terrifying. It'll haunt your dreams. Anyway, Zoob and Mr. Special K. Hopefully, everybody that was on the show tonight comes back again. Thank you all for being here. Keep washing your hands, keep social distancing, and keep wearing your mask. Wear two if you can, and try to find a vaccine when you can get it. I know it's hard to do. I've been looking for them for family members, like it's going out of style. And if I can't find it, so I'm sure you guys, if you can, let me know how you're doing it. But keep it up, everybody. We're so close. I mean, we're actually seeing daylight for the first time in a year. So I'm not saying we're there yet. But Zoob's still here. All right, Mr. Special K.
I don't bail.
All right,
I
that's fantastic.
stick around.
Well, thank you so much. So we're gonna sign off here to everybody, and thank you all for everything that you guys do. And we'll be back Wednesday night, and we'll see you then. Thank you all. Check out Barrel and Flow, and go to Zoob's website. Check out those podcasts. He's got a ring light, for Christ's sake. It's legit. All right, see you later, everybody. Thank you all. Have a great weekend. Earbuds. The earbuds are digging in my ears. Got it out. Has it been a year yet?